North Carolina Central is going to be picked up and knocked for by Tim Daniel. Picked up now by C.J. Moore. C.J. Moore, no one even.
This is Eagle Talk on the NCCU Sports Network.
Here's your host, Chris Hooks.
Hello, Eagle fans. Welcome to another edition of Eagle Talk. I'm Chris Hooks, the play-by-play voice of the NCCU Sports Network. Another jam-packed edition of the program, as we'll have on the victorious head coach of the Eagles, Jerry Mack, to talk about the win against Elizabeth City State. We'll also have on the Brahma Bull himself, running back Andre Clarke will be on the program to talk about his performance against Elizabeth City State. Also, both will preview the matchup against Charlotte coming up this Saturday at 5 o'clock. Get your tickets. Let's pack the house for a huge matchup on Saturday evening. Again, I'm Chris Hooks. Here's Jerry Mack. Coach, you got your first win here at North Carolina Central. I know that had to be pretty gratifying for you. Just talk about you personally, what it was like to get that first win.
Oh, it was very exciting, Chris, to have a chance to go out there and O'Kelly Riddick. We talk about it as a team, as a family, always trying to be undefeated at home and to go out there with that first victory, laying the foundation for our team.
It was interesting, though. It was kind of early in the ball game. There was some feeling out process. Then they missed a field goal, and it was kind of like the floodgates open. You feel like that was the turning point for us?
Yeah, football is a game of momentum, and we got a chance to kind of gauge them a little bit the first two drives on offense, and then after that missed field goal, we kind of got rolling a little bit, and that's always the key. After that, I think I settled in a little bit, and we executed pretty decent.
Now, what is it about this Felix Small, C.J. Moore fumble? I think they've got something going here because the first two games this year, Felix Small is forced to fumble, and C.J. Moore has been there to recover it.
Right. It's just chemistry. Right now it's chemistry, and C.J.'s at the right place at the right time, and that's the biggest obstacle.
Again, I thought our defense played spectacular, and we knew coming in Elizabeth City State could move the football. Petey Boone, all 6'1", 235 pounds. You saw first two carries, he had 24 yards. Right. From that point on, it was pretty much all NCCU's defense.
Well, our guys on defense did a great job of wrapping them up, bringing them to the ground, did a good job of containing the quarterback and also controlling their passing game a little bit. And, when all phases of that are coming together, you're going to have some success.
When you look at just the offense, it seemed like you made some steps in the right direction. And here, I guess this is something I thought about the other day. All right, you won 34-7. We put up 34 points. Defense played well. Offense had its moments. Is that a good thing in game two that you still have some things that you need to work on? It wasn't like we ran up 50 on them and we didn't play perfect and all that. Is it good sort of that we left some points off the board, or is that something that worries you?
Well, I don't think it worries me, but we do have to get some things cleaned up, especially in the red zone area. We have a lot of junior college transfers on the offense side of the ball, so we're still trying to find our chemistry, trying to develop that chemistry on offense. And I feel like it's going to all come together. We still had over 400 yards. Like you said, we had 35 points, but we left some points out there on the board, and we left some big plays out there as well.
Yeah, but it really seemed like, though, with everything that has gone on, Quinn has sort of settled in. He had some good moments, made some good throws, and he found a target on Saturday in Anas Hasek for a big play. It seems like he's making steps in the right direction. And it's interesting, you came in, you said you were going to attack, and you have. But I guess people have to sort of understand it takes time for an offense to really get rolling.
It does, and like I said, we're going to do whatever we can do and what is best for our football team. And our running game did well the other night, and we ran the ball, I thought, extremely well. Our offensive line did an extraordinary job of blocking and providing those holes for Andre and Deontay.
Well, you talk about that. Andre, 3 touchdowns, had some exceptional runs. I think his 30-yard run that set up his first touchdown was exceptional, to the point where I think that also gave us momentum.
Right. And the thing we was missing in the East Carolina game was explosive plays, and we got a lot of those on Saturday night in the run game and the passing game. And, that will continue to grow, and we continue to push the ball down the field in the passing game. But also in the run game, those guys being able to break tackles and, like I said, offensive line being able to create those holes is probably what the difference is.
Yeah, you talk about creating those holes. Deontay Wright had his longest run of his career, 32 yards, running through a gaping hole up the middle. Again, it's so interesting. You got Andre with the speed and the size, and you got Deontay Wright with the shiftiness and speed as well. You got a nice little combination there in the backfield.
We do. It's kind of provides a good 1-2 punch. And Kevin Thompson came in and provided an explosive run or two for us. So we feel like we got some depth at that position. And, when one gets tired, we kind of continue to just hammer the ball and do some good things.
It's interesting. You look at the defense, in a name that kept cropping up. Daniel Rhodes had a sack. Ty Brown got around and got a sack. Antonio Brown nearly took off someone's head in that ball game. Again, it just really seemed like the attack mode was really there for Eastman's defense. It really seemed like that's something that we can build upon.
It really is. You know, I told you before, our defensive line front is a group of young men. They're young football players, but they got a lot of potential. And I think you saw flashes of that on Saturday night. And I'm looking forward to just continue to develop those guys and see how they grow.
And it really seemed like you talk about the defensive backs. I thought, again, they were all over the place, and they really frustrated the receivers for Elizabeth City State as well.
They did. We talk a lot on the defense secondary about rerouting receivers and just kind of making them go off course and disrupting the timing of the passing game from opponents. And I thought Mike and Nolan Corcoran, a young man, he came in, and Ryan Smith did well also.
When you look at special teams, I know there's got to be some concern there, but we know one thing, as Brandon continues to grow as a kicker, distance is not going to be a problem for him. I mean, now accuracy is something he's going to obviously grow into, but for him, what's the key to him, to keeping him confident and keeping him in the right mindset?
The key is just to go out there and practice and try to get better each and every day. You know, as long as he continues to work hard, we still have the utmost confidence in Brandon, and he just needs to keep developing and get better. And he's no different than anybody else on our football team. They're going to have their ups and downs, but you got to keep pushing through adversity and overcome it.
What'd you think about the fans' first home game at O'Kelly-Riddick?
I thought the fans were really good. You know, they were into the football game. You know, we make big plays. They stand up and cheer loud. The student section was extremely loud and good for us, and our band did an excellent job.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a special atmosphere when that place gets rolling. O'Kelly-Riddick Stadium is probably as loud as I've ever heard a venue here around the MEAC, and I'll tell you what, it's one of those things that when we get rolling, I mean, it's because they're right on top of you, and I think that's something that's certainly going to help us out this week. Coach, just overall for you, after 2 games, where do you think we stand at this point of the season?
You know, we still got some things to work on, Chris. You know, obviously our red zone offense and our extra point field goals has to get better. Defensively, we've been playing good, but we still have to put 4 quarters of football together. We just haven't done that in these last 2 games. I think last game we played about 2.5, closer to 3 quarters of football, but it's going to come a time where we're going to have to play 4 quarters of football to win games, and this will be a great challenge this week to do that.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Charlotte. And for you, this year being your first year, we played them last year. Put it to them pretty good, 40-13, the final score last year down in Charlotte. For you, as the new guy in town, as far as your staff and everything, all right, so how do you get these young men, how do you keep them focused on, you beat them last year at their place, but this is a different team. They're much better. They're much improved. They're not the same team as last year. How do you keep them focused and not overconfident?
Well, you just keep comparing them to this team that we have at NCCU. They're not the same team as they were last year. Every year, different young men, different coaches, different philosophies, and they're going to get better too. And they're a young program, and you can see the growth in their program. So we got to bring our hard hat and get ready to play.
What as far as the film study, what have you seen from them as far as some of the attacks, offensively, defensively? What have you seen from them?
I think on offense, they have a lot of big play potential. They got a couple of guys out there that if you give them a chance to make some plays down the field and in space, they can make you miss and they can go the distance. On defense, we see speed. We see some guys that are fundamentally sound and they're at the right place at the right time, and they can make plays as well. So we got to do a great job of making sure our schemes and our things that we do are fundamentally sound, so we can attack them in the way we need to.
It's interesting. You look at their roster and you see a lot of redshirt sophomores, but they've been in the program for 3 years and they've got a lot of experience. So they're almost like they're full of juniors because they were able to redshirt that 1 year. So they're an interesting team because you look at the teams they played before us and you see how talented they are and how dominant they can be. But most of them are redshirt sophomores. So that, like, the potential for Charlotte's got to be pretty scary for other coaches to see.
It really is. I compare them to a lot like we were when I was in South Alabama. We were a young program. They got a chance to redshirt a lot of guys, and by year 3 or 4, we really kind of started to get that thing rolling. And it's the same way with that program. UNC Charlotte's going to be probably one of the better teams in Conference USA when they step into that conference next year.
You can certainly see that they're on the right path. For us, though, in this ball game, to get a win at home against a team like a Charlotte, that'd be a huge win for us.
No doubt. To get an opponent like that, once again, an in-state opponent, helps in recruiting if we can win that battle. So always, anytime you get a chance to battle a team of that caliber, is always exciting.
Where's the game ball that Ingrid gave you?
We're in the process of putting that in a case, so we're working on that right now.
That was a pretty neat moment, Coach, and we're certainly glad to have you here. Thanks for your time here on Eagle Talk. Wish you the best luck in Charlotte. We'll continue to cover that and prepare for that ball game as we get set for Saturday evening's battle.
Thanks, Chris.
That is head coach Jerry Mack as the Eagles get set to take on Charlotte this Saturday evening at 5 o'clock. We'll be on the air at 4:30 with the Denny's of Durham pregame show. Hope you join us on the NCCU Sports Network. We'll come back with Andre Clarke, the Brahma Bull, coming up next on Eagle Talk.
Why should you join Team 23?
The biggest savings.
The best selection.
The championship service.
A lifetime guarantee.
The best values.
The people.
There's only one team, Team 23.
Team 23 means your engine is guaranteed for life, free oil changes for life, and much, much more. Michael Jordan Nissan is Team 23.
Isn't it time for you to join Team 23?
Michael Jordan Nissan, 15501 north of I-40.
Define the fabric of a team. It's not selfish. It's not boastful. It's about many, sewn together to reach one common goal. But in order to win, you must learn to work together.
Welcome back to Eagle Talk. Certainly glad you joined us here on the NCCU Sports Network. Joining us here in the second segment of the program, Andre Clarke, the running back from Malden, South Carolina, redshirt senior, 3 touchdowns on 12 carries in the win over Elizabeth City State on Saturday night. Andre, congratulations on that first and foremost. Just talk about, for you, what was it like for you getting back out there and being that Andre Clarke from 2 years ago before you got hurt?
Oh, it felt great, Chris. You know, that was the goal before the season, just to come back and have that same impact I had in 2012, where I could just help the team more in the red zone, short distance, and just show that I have the ability to go for the home runs and get longer touchdowns and, you know, be a big help for the offense, a go-to kind of type player.
Short run, yeah, 30-yard run, Andre.
Yeah, I know, and I was real proud of that. I'm a lot more proud of the long runs than I am the short ones.
Now, folks will see the video as we're talking about this, but the little juke inside, I mean, I don't think Deontay Wright or Kevin Thompson could make that move.
Yeah, that's just go back to our drills and how hard we work, man. With Coach Jones, he gives us all these different type of drills in Indy, and we're always going fast-paced, and he always teaches us, man, he wants us to be second nature. And when it happened, I just did it instantly. It wasn't no thought process about it.
And, you know, it's interesting. There are drills where you'll be running towards him, and he'll do something, and you're supposed to make a move. What's your favorite one of the drills that you do?
I would say the one where he makes us go, he'll give us like a count. He'll go 1, 2, and then we'll go 1, and then he'll be like hit, and then we'll have to do different movements, and then once we get to him, we have to make another move. So it's like making more than one move. It's just like when you're going on a run and you break through break through the line, and you got the linebacker, you make the linebacker miss. Now you got to make the safety miss. Then maybe you might have someone come from backside. Now you got to make him miss. So that drill right there just shows us in the game. That's going to really happen in the game.
Is that something that, just seeing your running style, is that something that maybe wasn't as prevalent in your running style before? I mean, you're a big guy, so you didn't really have to always do that, but I think this is sort of giving you an added dimension.
Exactly, yeah. And he just showed me that, you know, even though I'm big, I need those moves just so I could be a complete back. And that definitely just took my game to a whole nother level, and I'm excited. Like, the more games that's coming, just the damage that I can do, and just to see how great I could do just for myself.
Well, you broke some ankles on that run, and for you, it had to be for you again that situation where last year you weren't 100%. You tried to come back, you played, and you had some good games. You had 100 yards against Savannah State. But now you're back. You've got to be just elated right now. Just the fact that you're playing in your redshirt senior season. Like
Definitely. It's a great feeling. You know, just many players, they have that injury and they make the comeback, and you never realize how great it is until you just come back, and you're just at your top of the game, and you're like, wow, just everything I went through, I did it for this, and it's just great to see that it all just paid off.
1-1 after 2 games. How do you feel like you guys are playing right now?
I feel like we're playing great, man. Just our defense, they're holding it down consistently. Offense, we got some things we got to work on, but we definitely have the playmakers, and we have more coming back. So it's going to be great just to see it all work itself out.
And that's the interesting thing. Like it's a situation the other day. You were able to win the ball game 34-7. Probably should have had some more points. Come Sunday and Monday, when you had meetings and stuff to talk about that, was there a little bit of, all right, we did this well, but we got to improve this, and this much better?
Exactly. Yep. We ran the ball really, really well, but there's things that we could have did better for the passing game and getting out on our routes, picking up blocks, and there's just different stuff. We always got to do better. I scored 3 touchdowns and had a nice yard per carry average, but I still didn't do a 100% job. There was things I could have did better. There was things we all could have did better as a group. So
you did not play against Charlotte last year, so you're going to get your first chance against the 49ers as that game comes up this Saturday at 5 o'clock. It's interesting. They're an extremely talented ball club. What have you seen from them on your side of things as you prepare for this matchup?
Oh, I've seen that they definitely fly to the ball. Their defense is sort of set up kind of like ECU's, so it's gonna be like it's the same look, some type work, but the players are kind of somewhat different. So we're gonna have to play like real physical with them, and I think that'll give us the advantage.
All right, Andre, as you get set here, we get set to take on that contest, and you move on here in senior season. Obviously, for you, what are some individual goals you have in mind for yourself this year?
Well, definitely I want to be an all-conference back. That's one big goal, and I definitely want to hit the century mark for my last year and double-digit touchdowns. That would be great, and definitely. Either way, just besides those individual goals, again, the MEAC championship is one thing I really want. Just to lead a university with and just be my class going out with being the first ones to get it for us, just starting it off.
Has the basketball team winning and doing what they did last year, has that, as a student athlete, motivated everyone else, you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. They definitely set a fire underneath everybody else. So it's like, hey, come on, let's go ahead, let's get on this train of winning. Let's start this winning tradition. It's only gonna make our school and university just so much better.
Chris Hooks, play-by-play voice here at North Carolina Central with Andre Clarke, the tailback here for the Eagles. Andre, as you get set to take on Charlotte, let's look off the field though real quick. What's your major here at North Carolina Central, and what do you want to do when you get done here?
Well, my major is recreation administration with sports concentration in sports management, minor in business, and really what I really want to do is open up my own sports facility and just help out people just working out, and just I want to start that off. It'll be more of a profit, trying to work my way up, and then I want to start nonprofit organizations where I can just help kids, put up like just basketball courts and stuff like that, just for them to have something to do and just play instead of, being inside.
You want to do this back home in Malden, or is this wherever the wind blows?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Everybody argues with me about it. I'm originally from Key West, Florida.
Okay.
But I would play high school in Malden, South Carolina. So I really want to go back to Key West, Florida, and do it. But at the same time, my heart's there in Malden, South Carolina, just from high school.
Yeah.
And it was a great time. So I would like to do it. Either place would be great for me, just wherever the opportunity presents itself.
Okay. For those that have never been to Malden, what would one do on a Friday, Saturday night in Malden, South Carolina?
Man, it's downtown Greenville is definitely.
Yeah,
Malden and Greenville is basically the same.
Okay.
Greenville's the main city, and Malden's a town inside of it. So you could go downtown Greenville. It's definitely a great spot. It's lovely. You just walk around and you got different shops and stuff you could go to. There's a Riverwalk type deal.
Yeah?
It's real nice. Yep.
So basically, you probably could get a job out of school with the Greenville Tourist Board, right?
Hey, that wouldn't be too bad.
He's available.
Hey,
but
yeah.
No, Andre, that's pretty cool. What motivated you? What has led you to want to do what you want to do when you get out of school?
Oh, just where I came from, it just really, opportunities weren't really there. And then for what my mother did for me, she gave me an opportunity to go somewhere else away from Florida and come to South Carolina and get an opportunity to play football, which led me to here. So it just, on my road, it showed me that I really want to just help people, and I love sports. So if I could use sports to help people and show that being active is a way to keep yourself happy and, have a good time. So I just want to keep introducing that to other people.
Other than football, what's your favorite sport?
Basketball. You wouldn't believe this, but before I even played football, I was a basketball player.
Can you hoop? Can you ball?
Man, I don't know if I can hoop now. Ever since I started lifting weights, it just kind of went off. My jump shot's not where it needs to be.
I guess I'll say the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't start playing football till my freshman year in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Andre, it's been unbelievable talking to you. It's been awesome, first and foremost, seeing you from your freshman year to now. Just the type of how you've grown, the type of person you've always been, class act on and off the field. We're certainly glad you joined us here on Eagle Talk today. Best of luck against Charlotte.
Oh yeah, thank you.
That is Andre Clarke, running back here at North Carolina Central. Such a great story, great time talking with him. We'll come back with the final wraps on this edition of Eagle Talk right here on the NCCU Sports Network.
Wild Cherry. Exclusively cherry.
North Carolina Central University is one of our nation's most prized assets.
Our law school ranks 4th in the nation for clinical opportunities.
We offer cutting-edge technology in the biosciences.
We help students master their craft.
North Carolina Central University, we are a first-choice premier institution.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Eagle Talk. Big thanks to Felicia Casey Hicks, the TV studio manager here in the communications building at North Carolina Central. All the students that helped out with today's show, big thanks to them as well. Be sure to tune in starting at 4:30 on Saturday afternoon as Hall of Fame weekend commences here in the Bull City. The Eagles of North Carolina Central will host the 49ers of Charlotte. Again, we'll be on the air at 4:30 for the Denny's of Durham pregame show to get you ready for the second matchup between Charlotte and NCCU. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you on Saturday. So long, everybody.
As North Carolina Central is going to be picked up and knocked for by Tim Daniel. Picked up now by C.J. Moore. C.J. Moore, no one even.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.